There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit,
in tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now. Hey, we got a show tonight, Dr. Pat, don't we?
Let's go. Let's go, everybody.
All right, for all of our listeners who are Leos, we got a very, very special show tonight because it is 8/8/28, and today is the Lionsgate portal. And let me tell you just a little bit about what that is. And then Dr. Pat's got some really cool things. Oh, by the way, I'm Mark Anthony. I'm the psychic, and I'm here with my esteemed and amazing co-host, Dr. Pat Baccili, founder of the Transformation Network, host of the award-winning Dr. Pat Show. And I'm so honored that she's my co-host here on The Psychic and the Doc. This is a call-in show, 1-800-930-2819. So today, 8/8/24, is the Lionsgate portal, which is an annual event that occurs during Leo when the Earth, the star Sirius, and Orion align within the zodiac sign of Leo. Now, what this happens between July 28th and August 12th when the stars are in the closest alignment on the 8th. That's why today is so significant. So when Earth, Sirius, and Orion are in alignment, according to astrologers, this opens a powerful energy portal that can be used for spiritual healing, manifesting, and more. In other words, this is a really good time to put your intentions out there. Then there's also the significance of the number 8. And in numerology, the number 8 is symbolized by the infinities. So you take 8, turn it on its side, take the number 8 from a vertical to a horizontal, and it becomes the symbol for infinity. And numerology sees the number 8 as a sign of recurrent cycles. So there's some quick background on it, but as usual, Dr. Pat, being a psychologist, is delving much more deeply. All right, Dr. Pat, tell us about your take on this.
I got to tell you, we're going to do a short segment because we have so many of you waiting today. What I want to say about it's a lot of things. It's about where have we come in 2024, right? Because this is 8/8/8/2024. But where have we come this year and what's happening from an astrological perspective? So there are a lot of things that people say to do and don't do. For example, what to do. Listen to high vibrational frequencies. They give a list in this one article I read, by Your Tango, and they give a list of 35 songs. And so when I looked at the 35 songs, I was very impressed with myself. I was very impressed with myself because I thought, well, wait a minute, 35 songs. Am I ever going to know any of these? And so, when you go through these, you see them. You see a song like Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. You see that. Or you see Woman by Kesha. Or you see that, along with the Dap Kings. Or you see We Are Champions by Queen. Hello. But, Flow Rada, good feeling. So, and you take a look at these. There's some others like Charlie XCX, and when you take a look at some of that, 1999, that's a hard song for me. Just the year in itself was a really hard song for me. But I looked at some of the artists they picked. Clearly One Republic, Mary J. Blige, a bunch of them like this, but. these are songs that are from the pop culture, and I was so glad they were looking at them. I was so glad. So I thought to myself, what made the number one song? What was, everybody likes to rate things. What made the number one song? High Hopes by Panic, right? And this is like At the Disco. But number two was really fascinating for me because of the artist. The artist is Sia. And when Sia came out, she was the vocalist on a song that she got no credit for. She was the vocalist on the song. When they did the video of the song, I wonder if y'all know what song that was. I mean, it was like blockbuster hit. But when it was such a blockbuster hit. It was like in the movie, Pitch Perfect. This is a blockbuster song that came out, and then they did the video of the song, but she was not in it. And then when I found out who she was, absolute love her. So number two is called The Greatest. And you could look all these up. But guess, Ariana Grande, hello. I mean, what is it about Ariana that gets her like 2 or 3 songs? And of course, there's so many in here. But this is what they're saying. You got to like vibe up. You got to vibe up. That's what this is about.
Listen to high vibration music, happy music. Yeah.
Daydream number 2. But can I tell what not to do, Mark? And I want you to comment on it.
Yeah. That's sorry. Now that we've done the happy stuff, let's go for the negative stuff.
Okay. When this portal is open today, and tomorrow is the 9th, we're going to talk about tomorrow being the happy day. But what not to do? Don't text your ex. No. What are they saying? Don't fall back on old patterns. That's right. What's going on here. So, oh my God, where's my bag of potato chips? What they're saying is this is about reevaluating to move forward and not to go back. That's how important this is. This is a mega manifestation portal, like mega. And why do we know that? Because we look at some of the astrological signs that are showing up, the trine that shows up with Jupiter. There's so much to talk about with this, but the bottom line is it's all energy. And it doesn't matter what you did yesterday, according to people that talk about this. It matters what you want to create for your future. That's what we do here on the show too, right, Mark?
It absolutely. When I connect with spirits, yes, that is a loved one who has died. And so that is a significant traumatic event in your past. But by facilitating communication with a spirit, that helps you understand the present, in that your relationship with the person that you love who has passed has gone from one of a physical nature to one of a spiritual nature. And then Dr. Pat will help you understand the significance of the messages that have been transmitted by the spirit, so that you won't be mired in the past, but instead you'll be able to move forward. Because nothing is worse than getting stuck in the past. And don't text your ex. Going back to see people fall on these patterns and, it'll work this time. It's like, no. I mean, maybe it does for some people, but what I've seen as an attorney, as a medium, usually going backwards doesn't help you move forwards.
Right. And there's a lot. I mean, you should actually try to Google things on this, but there are a couple of really, yourtango.com is pretty good. I like that. I also really like when I take a look at there's a very really cool subscription that's out there. One of them is from India. And so it's just a lot. But the bottom line is this is big time. This is a time to dream big. Now, it is going to vary between different signs. And, you have to look more. You can look at your sun sign, but there are other signs on the chart that are going to be related. For example, if you look at my chart, you take a look at the fact that I've got this energy in Sag, but I got the energy in Capricorn. So what do? Do I actually go with my sun sign, or do I look with my moon? The bottom line, it doesn't matter. Everything here is all about rising up and rising up bigger. And that's what tonight's show's about.
Yes, it is. And we have a number of callers that which we're going to be going to in a moment. Dr. Pat, do you want to take a quick break and then we'll come back and go right to the phones?
Yeah, let's give Emily a little breathing room here. And then we'll come right back, everybody. We'll be right back with the psychic and the doc. Hey, everybody, welcome back. We are taking your calls. I am going to kick it back to Emily. We ask a couple of things, if you don't mind. If you are calling into the show, please make sure that we can hear you clearly. Sometimes speakerphones work, sometimes they don't. The other thing is you don't want to be moving around. And then please turn off whatever you're listening to us on that may be in your background. If we can do that, we can get you right over to the most amazing psychic explorer. Mark is just, we're going to tell you all the places he's going. I don't know. Does the Coast to Coast people do like replays?
They do. Coast to Coast AM. I was on last Friday night Pacific time, Saturday in the wee hours of the morning for Eastern and Central time. And the host, George Norrie, asked about the psychic and the doc, and we talked a bit about that. And it was really great because a lot of people that affiliate with Coast to Coast are interested in hearing about the psychic and the doc. I want to thank everybody. I've got a number of events coming up. My online light circles this weekend are sold out, but there will be more coming up. In 2 weeks, I will be at the Helping Parents Heal biannual convention, and I'll be one of the keynote speakers. And if you would like to purchase an online pass, and I highly recommend it because there's going to be some incredible speakers, go to my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com, just like my latest book, Afterlife Frequency. Go into the calendar of events, and you can go through there. You can also sign up and get an in-person or online pass for the upcoming Ancient Mysteries Conference, first weekend in October at the Edgar Cayce Center in Virginia Beach. And those are just two of the things I have coming up. And you can find out about all of that at afterlifefrequency.com, and about getting the latest issue of Best Holistic Life magazine. I got a really cool article in there, which this article stars Rocky, my business manager, because of her amazing intuitive abilities. She actually saved a 4-year-old girl from getting abducted. So I'll just leave it like that. Rocky is the hero of this article, and it's about situational awareness. It can save lives. So, Dr. Pat, what do you say we go to the phones?
We always kick it back to Emily. Emily, who would you like to go to first?
Up first, we have Pat from Ohio. Pat, you are live.
Hey, Pat, welcome to the show. Yes. How can we help you today?
Yes, thank you. I wanted to find out about my daughter, Kelly. She passed away unexpectedly.
Okay,
hold on, Pat.
Well, before you give us too much information, I forgot to mention this, Pat. I'm so sorry. Before you give us too much information, let's have you hop over to Mark and see who shows up. What do you think?
Yeah, and Pat, first off, please accept our deepest sympathies on the passing of your daughter. So, you realize that when I open up to frequency, spirits are going to come forward. And because we're doing mini readings here, sometimes the person that you want to hear from the most may not be the first one to step forward. But let's see what we have here, Pat. Okay, I'm getting a female energy coming through. Now, what I'm getting with her is I'm feeling an impact sensation. Now, let me explain what I mean by an impact sensation. Impact sensation means an abrupt or unexpected passing. Now, I do know that you said she passed unexpectedly, all right? Because I know a lot of people are listening out there that are like, oh, he just got that from him. But I physically feel how people passed or the sensations they're experiencing. And what I'm getting, Pat, is I'm feeling a numbness in my face. I'm feeling my heart and lungs getting very numb and locking up. So this feels like whatever was contributing to her cause of passing. There's a numbness, almost like a sedation, but it could also be neurological, and it was in tandem with cardiopulmonary failure. It's almost like I'm drowning, but it's not water. In other words, I simply can't breathe. And when I say that, that's the sensation that this female energy is projecting to me. Let me hold position here. Just based on what I just said, does any of that make sense, Pat?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, this is fascinating. She is filling my mind's eye with the most beautiful array of flowers, but they're tulips, tulips, tulips. I'm seeing red, I'm seeing blue, I'm seeing purple, I'm seeing yellow, tulips, tulips, tulips. Now, when I think of tulips, I think of like Holland, it could be Dutch heritage or something, but tulips, tulips, tulips. I mean, just vast amounts of flowers. And she said that you honor her daily. You honor her daily, and there's something that you're doing the way you honor her, Pat, that involves flowers and color. And I realize that oftentimes we will bring flowers to the final resting place of our loved ones, but this is like off the charts with the beautiful flowers. Does anything there resonate with you?
Yes.
In what way? I'll let you explain that one.
There's several different things I'm doing for prayers for one, just uplifting, type things. But also, I decorate her grave, and there is flowers there, but they're not tulips. But there are flowers out there and things like that.
Okay.
So I do a lot to honor her. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
I just want to know exactly.
Hold on. Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what happened to her.
I understand I understand that may be beyond the scope of a mini reading. But let me see what she's bringing. But she won't let me go on tulips. Now, I know you're focused on what happened, but a lot of times when people get hyper-focused on a particular thing, and it's perfectly, absolutely understandable, you're her dad. You want to find out what happened. But spirits sometimes have a different agenda initially. If I say tulip, what comes to mind? Don't worry about how it applies to your daughter. What does tulip, what type of imagery or feeling does it evoke for you?
Nice feeling, beauty, peace, just something that you can enjoy.
Okay.
Nice fragrance, that kind of thing.
Dr. Pat, you're really good with these symbols. Yeah, what is there a symbolic meaning to a tulip?
Yeah. Again, wow. Well, she's a strong energy.
Yeah, she really is.
Right?
Yes.
I don't know this to be true, but can I ask you, the love between you two is so immense. Is that a true statement?
Yes, we were having some issues. As a father and daughter, sometimes we do. But we were trying to arrange things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to arrange things. Yeah. But all of a sudden, this came up unexpectedly. So.
Her passing, you mean?
Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. I'm just trying to get the best, trying to figure out exactly what happened,
Yeah. Okay. So I want to tell you about tulips a minute. I live in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, my God. We have a tulip festival and the whole shebang up here. Tulips are about rebirth and new beginnings. I think, Mark, this is the message for Pat. Now, Pat, did you hear me talk about 888 at the beginning?
Yeah.
What I was trying to say, there are do's and don'ts. The whole idea of don't, when I said don't text your ex, yes, we were joking about that, but that's not what this is about. It's looking at the past and getting to a place of peace with that. And Mark, you said that. Tulip. The other thing you should know about tulips, they're one of the first flowers to bloom, right? But they're right? You understand, they're one of the first flowers to bloom. How many children do you have?
3.
And where
She was my middle daughter.
She's your middle daughter. I want to ask you about your other children for a minute, but please, you don't have to disclose anything personal, and I'm going to make it brief because I know other people are waiting. Tell me what's going on with your other kids. Anything? Anything going on with the other two?
Well, we're still estranged. We went through, her mother divorced me, and then she turned the kids against me, all 3. Yep. And we're still having trouble. But Kelly was coming around. She was...
Okay, that was... the young one is coming around.
Well, Kelly's the middle one. She was the one who was coming around, and all of a sudden she died unexpectedly. But we were putting a program together. We were going to go in business together, and all of a sudden this came up.
That's it. This is what I'm telling you. This is all about tulips. You see, you guys were coming together. What were you going to put together? A new what? Program. What was it? A new business, right?
It was a business. Yeah, business relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
Real estate.
Okay. And what are you doing with that business now?
Well, I kind of put it on hold because this all shocked me. Yeah. So I was, going to bring her into it. And,
yeah. So I want to say 2 things for you. One, please get a longer reading with Mark. Please do this. The other thing is, I do believe there's something underneath here that has to do with your other 2 children. But it's a short call, and from an ethical perspective in my field, I can't go into it. But I do want to say something. I do feel there's something else, because when somebody that passes comes in and starts to give messages on rebirth and new beginnings, it's not usually about them. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if you can carve a pathway for your other children, Pat. And believe me, the whole divorce thing and all that, that is tough. But I just want to leave that with you to think about, Mark.
Pat, before we go, is there any history, and there's a reason I'm asking this. This is coming from your daughter's spirit. I'm getting what feels like when I was getting the numbness, feels like some form of epilepsy, but this could be some other type of neurological condition, seizures or spasms. But I'm also getting a congenital heart failure. Do you know if either in your family or in her mother's family, either epilepsy or a congenital heart defects run in the family?
Well, in my family, they do, but I'm not too sure about her mother's.
All right, let's focus.
Dyslexic.
Okay. All right, dyslexic. There's neurological. When you say what runs in your family, you say they do. Is that epilepsy or congenital heart defects or both?
Heart defects.
Okay. The impression that I get is that the seizures and the spasms were what she was experiencing during cardiopulmonary failure. And the reason that I asked, was it a congenital heart defect, is because that's what she told me it was. Now, I don't know if you've looked at the coroner's report or had an autopsy, and you don't have to divulge any of that here. But my sense is that there was nothing that she did to contribute to it, that this just hit her right out of the blue. And I also get the sense that it was the type of heart defect that, unless it was specifically screened for, then nobody would have known. So I'll leave that with you. And once again, our deepest sympathy.
Yeah, and I'm going to leave you with one other thing. I don't know where you are with your other 2 children, but when someone comes through with that spirit that talks about rebirth and talks about connection, enduring connection, I don't know if you can find a pathway in your heart for your other 2 children. And again, thank you for calling in. I know this is short.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I give you a lot of credit,
right.
man.
I appreciate
I'm
all
telling
your
you, Pat. Thank you. Wow.
God bless you, Pat.
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
What great energy. Did you feel that?
Oh, his daughter is just an amazingly, I mean, the immense colors, the flowers, it was just beautiful.
I had a hard time talking with him because,
It's
Emily,
overwhelming. Yeah.
it was a little bit. Emily, who do we have next?
Okay, up next, we're going to go to Angela over in New York. Angela, you're live.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, Angela.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm calling to see if you can connect with my cat that passed last week.
Okay. Can you speak a little bit louder so we can get you real clear?
If you can connect with my cat that passed away last week.
Okay. Let's see who comes through, Mark.
Okay.
It was only last week, right? Okay.
Yeah, this may be a bit soon for you to be engaging in spirit communication, not because the spirit can't communicate right away, but people think, when somebody, or in this case, a beloved four-legged friend dies, that they want the contact right away. And that's not always what's appropriate, because you're so mired in grief and you want the contact, and inadvertently you're blocking it. But the image that I'm getting is kind of a ginger kind of colored cat with a lot of white on the chest and white on the paws. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess Kitty is coming through. Hold on. This is very noteworthy. What I'm getting with this animal is I feel like a shock sensation, like this electrical shock going through me. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean electrocution, but the shock indicates there could be a neurological component to this animal's passing, but it also feels like whatever happened to this animal, when it came to the cause of passing, it happened really quick. But I want to back up a bit with the neurological. I'm getting a lot of sensations when I say my hands, that would be the front paws of this cat. I feel this numbness and coldness. So there could have been neurological, could have been circulation. Also, I'm getting in the cat's hips. I'm feeling a lot of stiffness. So there was a lot of physiological things going on, and I'm also getting the sense of tumors running throughout this entire animal's body, because I'm getting all these lumps. Do you know if your cat had issues with sensations, stiffness? It could be neurological, or because I know cats in particular are very prone to cancer, but it feels like this cat may have been riddled with tumors. Does any of that make sense to you?
A little. I mean, she was only 2 years old, and she was just vomiting and all day. So I brought her to the animal hospital, and they did blood work, and it came out normal. And then they did an X-ray, and didn't seem like anything was blocking the intestine. She did have fluid in her stomach. And then I brought her home, and then she was still vomiting and not eating. She was drinking a lot of water, but just not eating. So I brought her back the next day, and I left her overnight. And then she got a heart failure.
So this could be neurological, is what I'm getting, but I keep feeling like, and I know they did X-rays, and I guess they didn't pick up tumors, but I keep feeling all these spots. When I say spots, it feels like little hard areas throughout this animal's body, and it does feel like tumors. And I do get the stiffness, the pain, and even though the cat was only 2 years old, if she was having neurological problems, that would be that.
Is that something you're born with?
What do you mean? Would this be a hereditary condition for this animal? Yes. Were you holding her when she passed? Were you holding her when she passed?
No, I didn't want to put her down, but the vet was like, "Oh, she's suffering," and I was.
Yes, but hold on. She's talking about you holding her Like either at the time she passed or before she passed? That's what I'm asking you.
I held her to say goodbye, and then I didn't want to see them putting her down, so I went to a different room because I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, so that's what she's acknowledging, is that you were holding her. But she's free of all that pain now. Hey, hold on. I want to switch tracks for a minute because we got a human spirit coming through that feels like a grandmother type energy coming through on your mom's side of the family. She could be a grandmother or a great aunt. She could even be a great grandmother. But this woman was very, very elderly when she passed. Must have been in her late 80s, early 90s. And what I'm getting with her is she feels like she was pretty lucid all the way up to the end. But physically, I'm getting this dense physical sensation. Feels like a lot of fluid retention in her body, and I do get a lot of pressure buildup in her head. So she may have died from a stroke or a heart attack, but it hit her kind of quickly toward the end. Do you recognize this person?
I mean, my grandmother did die like her late 80s, but she died, I think, from cancer, like blood cancer or bone cancer, something like that.
Well, I understand that.
That's my dad's grandmother.
Right, but she was still lucid mentally up till the end, okay?
And she had dementia by the time as she got older.
Okay, then this may be somebody else because this person was lucid up to the end. Look, before we go through all your relatives, what I'm trying to tell you is there's a grandmother or great-grandmother figure, and your cat is sitting in her lap. Okay, so what this means is that your granny in spirit is with your cat, and she wants you to know that everything is okay. Everything is okay. And they said speeder. Is there a name like Speeder or Spider? I mean, I'm hearing like Speeder. Anything there makes sense?
My cat's name was Lindy.
No, I'm hearing Speeder. Speeder. That may be something that will make sense to you later on. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, the main thing is when my cat, I guess, was she in pain? Is this something, can neurological issues or tumors cause pain?
Yes, they can. And yes, the animal was in pain, but she wants you to know that you holding her prior to her transition brought her comfort, and your grandmother is coming from heaven to let you know that your pet is free of pain and with her in spirit. So I'll leave that with you.
Yeah. Can I jump in?
Okay.
I have a message for you. There was nothing you could have done. You know, I often wonder why we have these beautiful, loving beings that come into our lives for a short period of time. Do you know what I'm saying, Angela?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could not have done anything. There's nothing that you think you may have done to cause this. But there's something in your life, and I'm telling you, there's not enough time. You know, in the future, I'll be able to give out my phone number so we can follow up. But I just want to say this to you. There has to be something in your life, and thank you for bringing in other spirits, Mark, because there is a message for you. And I would talk to Mark, because I don't think this is about your little sweetie. There had to be something in your... Why did you get the cat? Let me ask you that. Why did you get the cat?
I got the... Because I had another cat I bought, and I felt bad for the one cat I bought to be alone all the time. So then I bought another one, but they never got along. This cat that I have now is very territorial, and it's very hard for me to bring another cat.
Okay, but I want to ask you specifically about you. I want you to think about this, please. You don't have to share it on air.
I mean this cat is it affected me because she was very, very affectionate with me. Like,
that's it.
I've had one cat
I got it.
And it didn't affect me like this.
I got it. I can't really talk to you on air about this, but I'm going to say that you attracted this cat because there was a part of you that needed to feel loved again. And you don't have to tell me the story about it. It's okay, Angela. But do you understand what the gift was of this beautiful being, this cat, for you? It opened your heart. May I suggest you do not close your heart again?
Yeah, it's just, she helped me with other things too. Like
that's what I'm trying to say. If we were on a private call, we'd have a big old New Yorker to New Yorker talk on this, Angela. Okay. But I want you to think about it, and I want you to call back in next week or the week after. I want you to think about, where was I in my life that I so longed something to come into it to fill a gap for love. But I don't want you to feel, I want you to know that that cat came in and left when it needed to leave and left you forever changed. You got that? Don't go back to an old pattern. That's what the 888 thing is about, okay?
Okay.
All right. That's from me to you. Got it?
Yeah. Thank you, Mark, also.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Mark.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think Grandma something really had a message there. Thank you. Let's keep rolling.
Let's keep rolling.
Yeah. Boy, sometimes it's hard, isn't it, Mark, to really get sometimes we get it. It takes both of us sometimes to really
Yeah, it does.
Get
but
it.
see, you brought up an important point. The grandmother coming through was the focal point of the message. And sometimes people are so focused on what they want to hear that they're not listening to the other message. And it's easy to do that, but you've got to do that.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
Giant message for you, Angela. Emily. Who do we have? The most incredible Emily, pushing all the buttons right there with Jessica, who's running around like Mama. My mama used to say, "Girl, what are you running around like a chicken with its head cut off?" And I didn't know what that meant until I actually saw my mama down in the deep south. That grandma's cut that chicken's head off. Let's go to the phones.
Maybe we'll get the chicken coming through.
Oh, my God.
We're going to go over to Jennifer in Texas. Jennifer,
all right, let's
you're
do
live.
it. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to the show. Let me make sure I can hear you really good.
Hi, thank you. Yes.
All right, you're going to have to speak up a little bit. Do you mind?
Okay. No, that'll be fine.
Good. I like that.
I would like to hear any messages from either my parents or my animals that have passed on.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting a male energy coming through, and he is coming through on the parent level. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's your dad. It could be an uncle or an older friend. But the funny thing is, he's coming through, and I'm seeing his hair slicked back, and I'm smelling Brill Cream Alberto VO5. Do you know if your dad ever used to put a lot of product in his hair and slick it back?
Not that I know of.
Interesting. Hold on. He keeps talking about his hair. What was the deal with your dad's hair? Did he have really great hair? Because here's the thing. The guy coming through, even though he looks like he's on the father level, he only looks like he's about 23 or 24. And spirits will sometimes do that. They come in as a younger version of themselves to let you know that we're energy. Energy just doesn't get old, sick, tired, or die. And they'll come in looking really great. And do you know if your mother was had really great legs when she was younger and that she liked to dance? Do you have any idea about that?
Yeah, I think she did. Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm seeing it. Your mom was hot. I mean, your mom was a very attractive woman. And I mean, I'm seeing the shapely legs, and your dad turned the ladies' heads too, is what I'm getting. And the funny thing is, what I'm getting about them is that they were really genuine people. They were down to earth. They weren't pretentious. They weren't snooty. But they were also very, like your dad was a gentleman, your mom was a lady, but they could also, get their hands in the dirt if need be. Does that make any sense to you?
Right. Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you do something with a lot of little kids? Because they show you surrounded by a bunch of really young children, like kindergarten, nursery school age, or did somebody connected to you or your mom do something with kindergarten or nursery school? Because I see all these little kids running around.
Yeah, no, I was a high school teacher for 13 years, but no little kids.
Well, that's what about your mom or somebody else connected to you? There's a thing with a whole bunch of little kids.
No, not that I'm aware of.
See, you're falling into the no syndrome when you start saying no, and because what that does is energetic. Listen to me. It creates a block. So what you need to say is, I'm not sure at this time, because I know that now that you're a high school teacher, but they're not showing me high school kids. They're showing little kids, and I don't know if you're retired or this may be something in your future, or somebody else connected to you may have worked with a lot of really young children. Okay, so just hold on to that. And your parents are also talking about your gastrointestinal health. And they keep showing a lot of celery, a lot of broccoli, something about fiber. Now, that can mean one of two things. That may mean you have a really good diet where you eat lots of fiber, or that may mean you need to make dietary changes and incorporate more raw vegetables and fiber in your diet. Does any of that make sense to you?
Yes, I eat well.
All right. So see, that's a verifiable fact following a message. So there's something about little kids somehow connected to you in some way. And when a spirit gives us a message of an explanatory or advisory nature, it's the little kids, and then they follow it up with an objectively verifiable fact, which is, you eat really well, then they're letting you know that they're around you and aware of what's happening. But they're talking about your mindset, They said for too long you've been like in gloom, but they're very proud because it's like you've turned the light on. Whatever you're doing, mindset wise, you're changing direction and you're letting kind of the doom and gloom go by the wayside, and you're opening up. Well, that's actually a very positive message. Does that make any sense to you before I turn you over to Dr. Pat?
Yes, that's great to hear, because I've been studying like intuitive healing and so forth.
All right, Dr. Pat.
Okay, so today is 888, right? You heard us talk about that. I'm going to tell you what tomorrow is. You ready for it? It's 8-9. That is called a happy day. It's called a happy day.
Every day
it's like
happy day.
No, yeah. So this is a happy day for the entire universe. Like, imagine the universe and all these comets crashing into planets and, that kind of thing, right? But this is a happy, energetic day beyond what you believe. And, I wish that's true. Every day is a happy day. And I love that you said that. I got to ask you, do you really believe it?
Pretty much so. I do.
Okay. So what holds you back from you fully expressing your happiness in the outer world? Is that a weird question that I just asked you right there? Do you think that's odd?
No, I think my health has held me back.
Yeah. My gosh, I have to tell you something. This 888 day, can I tell you, really, I don't have enough time to go into a lot of detail. This is a day where you call stuff in. Are you ready to do something with me? Well, this is you can listen to a lot of metaphysical people, and they're very different than my approach to metaphysics. Well, I'm going to tell you what mine is. This is a call it in day. So are you ready to call in perfect health?
Yes.
So let's hear you say it. You're from Texas, right?
I am ready to call in my perfect health.
Come on. Which part of Texas were y'all from? Where are you from?
Dallas.
Dallas. But you live in the home of the Joel Osteen people down there in Houston, don't you?
Oh no, I'm away from that.
You're away from that, but I'm going to tell you, I did a little call-in deal that he did, and I got to tell you what I manifested. I don't have enough time in this show to tell you, but I want you to call in perfect health. I want you to do this consciously for the next 24 hours. I want you to call in whatever that ache is in your body, whatever is going on. I want you to call in perfect alignment and healing, right? Do you see what I'm trying to say?
I do. I will do that.
Please do it. I was sick for 10 years. 24 hours, because I want you to go from today into tomorrow with it. And then see if you got the gumption to keep doing it.
Okay. So
all right.
I am ready to call in perfect health and think about everything that I'm correcting. Is that what I'm doing?
You're saying, what do you want to correct? Come on, I'm going to do it with you real quick. What do you want to correct?
Osteoporosis.
You got that. I'm calling in perfect bones. I'm calling in bones that don't know osteo anything. I'm calling in the divine energy of healing to know that I have no pain, that pain absolutely bypasses me. I'm calling it a process for me to get out in the world and do the things I want to do. I'm calling in the world that a diagnosis is not going to hold me back from my life. I'm calling in the perfect solution, the perfect people to show up in my life that are going to give me a solution beyond anything you can imagine. I'm calling in the right supplements, the right healers. I'm calling in the right people all over the world to get a hold of me and that I get a hold of them. I'm calling in the fact I'm going to move my bones and not lose my bones. Can you feel me on that one, Jennifer?
I can do that, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I can do that.
All right. Go for it. Thank you. I know what that's like. Believe me, 10 years I suffered with a very severe case of what they called in the end rheumatoid arthritis, but it was crippling. And I could tell you, I feel you, but you can get rid of it. I'm here. I play in championship table tennis, and I'm telling you, if I could do that, you can do this. You got it, Jennifer. Thank you. Whew. I feel good.
I feel good. Wow.
Oh my God, I got tulips today, and
yeah, you're on a roll, Dr. Pat.
I don't know if we have time for anybody else. Emily, what are we doing?
We do have one more caller.
Okay, let's try it.
Let's give it a go.
And then we'll make sure. Who do we have?
We have James from LA.
Gotcha.
James,
hey, James. James, welcome to the show. Hey, we got to do this really quick. How about if I hand you right over to Mark?
Hey, James, what can I help you with?
My beloved brother died 2 years ago. He was my world.
Your brother?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'm getting a male energy coming through, and he had the male that's coming through, James, and it may be your brother, it could be somebody else. What I'm getting with him is his passing was not a quick event. He had a lot of physical issues going on with him, and getting a lot of pain and focus on his urinary tract, lower GI tract, that area. I'm tasting a bitter metallic sensation, which could indicate neurological, but generally that means he was on a lot of medications prior to passing. I'm getting a lot of pain in the back of my head, down my spinal column. Feels like he was in a fair amount of discomfort prior to passing. Does this make sense?
Perhaps, yes.
Okay, what did he die from?
Well, he was in hospice at home, and one Sunday he started gurgling, a sound that I never heard of. A sound I never heard of before. It was terrible. I called the nurse on the telephone, and she said that he might die in a couple hours or a couple days, and to give him a certain medicine, 1 or 2 drops.
Oh, and there we go.
I told
there's there's the metallic taste. Right, James, because we're on a time budget. I don't mean to ramrod this, but we got your brother here. He wants you to know he said, I'm as good as fresh peaches, and he's giving you fresh peaches to eat. The cool thing about peaches, it can mean he love peaches. It could be a connection to the state of Georgia, or it could be someone with a name like George or Jordan, but there's something about peaches. I can smell them. Okay, what is up with peaches? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you love them, hate them? Peach cobbler? I mean, peaches are everywhere.
Oh, yes, maybe so, yes.
Okay, so he wants you to know, and I love this guy. He's walking around wearing blue jeans and kind of like a plaid pattern type shirt, but he's barefoot walking in the most incredible lush grass, and there's lots of rolling green hills, and I'm smelling the sweet smells of everything blooming. I'm smelling peach blossoms, apple blossoms. What he's doing, James, is he's projecting a beautiful point of reference that could be called heaven. And he wants you to know that's where he is. And he says he sends you signs all the time. And he says, I know you know because you know. He's cool. Dr. Pat.
Thank you.
You're muted, Dr. Pat.
I just want you to hold on to that. The time is so short that it's very difficult to really go through it. But you're hanging on to something about the hospital or something. There's something you're hanging on to about this, that this 888 is about really not reworking it or reliving those events. Do you hear what I'm trying to? I mean, this is hard advice, Mark.
It is. It is.
This is hard advice, James, but there is nothing that's going to help you by reliving that event, that call, what you experienced. Do you know what I'm trying to say, James?
Yes.
Can you let that go? Because he is in a great place now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, Dr. Pat's advice makes 100% sense, because that's why, James, he's showing that beautiful he's walking around with his feet in this nice soft grass. It's like this incredibly idyllic sense, because we can get very caught up in how our loved ones died, understandably so, but he doesn't want you to do that. You were there when he needed you. He loves you, and he wants you to know he's in heaven. And I can't think of a better message he could give you.
Yeah. That's it. That's what this is about. That's what this portal is all about, is really letting go, not from the past loves, but from the past items that the pattern you're reflecting on is what you need to let go. Hospital, gurgling, that, because that doesn't exist anymore. Okay, James?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, much love to you. So sorry.
God bless you, James.
Mark, what a great show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this has been a wonderful show. And I want to thank all the callers, all the listeners. Dr. Pat and I will be back next week for another episode of The Psychic and the Doc. And Dr. Pat, I want to thank you. Your advice tonight was so helpful and healing for everybody. And that's what's so beautiful about 8/8, the 8 energy today. It's all about healing, manifesting, and tomorrow's the day of happiness. So everybody, do something tomorrow that makes you happy, as long as it's legal.
Take care, everybody. See you next time.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.